Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. A couple of days ago I made a video about Nio and it got quite hectic in the comment section. Although I really appreciate all of your comments, I think it's making everyone to have a second thought about what we think about it, either if we are bullish or if we are maybe a little bit more cautious. Before we look at the comments, we can see here that the weekly registration numbers came in. Tesla did really strong and they're doing better than I would have believed at this time, to be honest, because I think there is quite a lot of competition, but actually kudos to them. They are doing fairly good at this current difficult market. You can see that LiAuto is also kind of stuck on the same LiAuto represented here by the green. They are kind of stuck on the same kind of level of the past, I would say 3 months or so. And then we have Nio in the white and Xpeng kind of following each other over the past month at least. But one issue here that kind of arises is that a lot of people are disappointed with 3000 for Neo, especially the Neo Classic. I would say Onvo has at least 800. I believe that number is not set in stone for Onvo. It could possibly be 1500. There might be some other dynamics going on there actually. And in fact, looking at Marcel, one of the OG Neo Bulls from 2020, he had a really interesting point that in Shanghai, in one of the biggest delivery centers which could deliver up to 200 cars a day, so 1,000 a week essentially. They had an issue with these number plates for new cars. So people would come in expecting to go away with a car, and then they wouldn't be able to do that because the number plates are not there. So this issue is apparently at the least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And remember that Crypto Witchy, another great guy that you should follow on Twitter, he made a post essentially a month ago. I actually saw this, but at the time I didn't, fully grasp, like, what does he actually mean? Because this sounds so strange, and my hope was that it was only, one off, but kind of looks like this could already have been an issue 1 month ago. So this could possibly have affected Neo's delivery for a long time now, essentially the last 4 weeks. And actually looking at it, look at the late September number was 6,300. That was essentially the first week of no, sorry, yeah, that wasn't the first week of Onvo. I think Onvo took quite a while. But anyways, we can see that yeah, 6,000 there and 4,500, a strong first week for October. So something seems off here, from the middle of October and so on. So maybe they are right. I don't know. But going to as well the lithium carbonate price quickly, you can see that the prices are still very low. So this will definitely help all the companies, Neo, Xpeng, Tesla, and so on. Then we had the CEO Li Bin essentially responding to a guy on social media that kind of complained, like basically what I did on my previous video. That sure, we believe in the company, we want it to be successful, but it just, sometimes it's very hard when it seems like the management could do a little bit more and for reasons they don't. And my biggest criticism has been, how much money Neo loses, the net loss, because I think this is what most people care about. Remember that they have around 5.7 billion on cash, at least according to the previous quarter. And if we consider that our expectations are that they will burn around 6 to 700 million again for this Q3. This means that, as you can see, I follow this cash position here on this line 38. So let's highlight Q2. There we go. So Q2 5.7 and Q3 maybe 5 billion, just about 5 billion, I would say, because they're going to make a net loss of, according to my model, 670 million or so. Now, the problem here is that, again, I see your comments. I truly understand the value of the swap stations. Trust me, I don't. One of the reasons I invested in this company way back 4 years ago is one of the main reasons was the swap stations. I understand the micro power grid, the balancing could potentially be really huge when we talk about, thousands of swap stations. I also understand that on a pure, utility, kind of think about it like you have a Tesla and the battery breaks down, you're out of warranty, and how much cost would it? It would take you probably 15,000, 20,000 US dollars to change the battery, right? In an Neo, you could potentially drive to the closest swap stations. At least in theory, you have the opportunity, and you come out like 3 minutes later with a fully functional battery. No one else currently can do that. So my issue is not the swap systems or swap infrastructure at all. My issue is the build out pace of the swap stations. I think when you have this kind of huge losses, when you have Xpeng at the same time, clearly showing that they are racing much, much, much faster towards profitability, then I don't think it's a surprise that Xpeng follows everyone else up when the rest of market essentially goes up, and then obviously goes down when the rest goes down. Whereas Neo, look at the Neo. Although funnily enough, today is the one on the exception, I would say. Look at the past 3 months. So Neo is up 22%, and if you look at let's say Xpeng, or actually let's look at I don't know, let's do a year to date. Xpeng is down 8%, essentially back to at least the start of the year. And Neo, I feel that it's not, let's say here, Neo is down 50%. So you see that Neo essentially follows the market down, but essentially don't follow it up. And I think it could be some foul play, sure. You might be right. There could definitely be some foul play. But honestly, I think why would I pick Neo and not Xpeng or someone else? So maybe although some of you might be onto something there, I think still if the company, why give the critics the reason to criticize you? Why again look at the battery infrastructure and the battery swap station. We can see that we are currently sitting at around, let's say, 35 swaps per station per day, right? That's around 1.5 swap per hour essentially. So you're telling me that 90% of the time the swap station are doing essentially nothing other than the peak hours. Maybe probably you see a utilization going up momentarily, like early in the morning, and when everyone goes home, let's say to 4 or 5 swaps per hour. But that's at the best in let's say, I don't know, 4 hours of the day, which means that if you, let's say you have 5 swaps on the 4 busiest hours, that's 20 swaps of the 35, which means that the rest of 20 hours of the day, you're doing 15 swaps, less than 1 swap an hour. And that, that doesn't scream that we need more swap stations. We could build out a little bit more, but not like 100 swaps a day, sorry, a month. When you see that the company's stock price is taking a hit, and it's been taking a hit for the longest of times, and all they could do is just relax the build out a little bit. No one is saying the swap stations shouldn't be built out. I would easily understand that in the long term it's a good thing. But why do it at this pace when you see that the critics are there? They will definitely criticize when they see the net loss not decreasing as fast as they want. And you can see here, for example, always take this example up. In Q2, the vehicle delivery was up 91%, you can see here, but the net loss decreased 3.3%. So you're telling me you managed to essentially deliver almost 2x the number of cars, and all the net loss reduction you managed to do is 3%, when the battery lithium carbonate price is essentially just going down as much as it possibly can. So that's why that is why I think the market has spoken, and we have to hold our hands up and be honest about it. Sure, in the long term, I've never said that I don't believe in a company in the long term. I 110% believe that this company is going to survive. But let's say if that's 3 years from now, when they finally get some realistic, return on the stock price that is, worth all the pain that all of us have been through over the past, let's say, 5 years, right? At least 3 or 4 years. I mean, even if it takes 2 years from now, what kind of returns would you get from other assets? And that's also the alternative cost. Sure, I've been losing money on Neo for 3 4 years now, but do I sit here another year and see this thing moves at best sideways, maybe go to 8, which would be essentially 100% up? Sure, that's great, but that's nothing compared to the prices that at least I have started to average in, and I think a lot of other people are under the prices that they kind of bought the stock at the beginning. So that is my reasoning to finish this video with. I'm not saying that you should sell all of your Nios. I'm by no means, getting scared that this company won't survive. I think they will survive, but I'm saying that there's a potential that they will survive. They 100% will survive, but there's a huge potential that they will raise more money and dilute the shareholders again because the cash position. Remember, they're not gonna. Some people on Twitter think that they're gonna raise capital the moment they reach zero, which would be I don't know, 10 quarters from now at this rate. No, that's not the truth. If you talk to the real expert, no one believes that. Like, probably by the time they're less than 3 billion, the management is getting scared because if you keep, burning 500-600 million every quarter and you're having less than 3 billion, you're in a, bad position. You cannot guarantee the company's survival for more than, let's say, at best 2 years from that data point. So that is the issue that, I'm 100% sure they will survive, but at what cost? And at what cost to you, the shareholder? So again, please, thanks for your comments. And before I finish the video, I think I truly respect your point of view. A lot of you think that the swap stations is a good idea. A lot of you think that it's probably worth it in the long term. Then you have some people that obviously don't agree. We can see that there are some other discussions that maybe the R&D on car models is slowing, which would result in better expected Q3 numbers. It could be possible because there's been a lot of discussions over the past 2 weeks, especially previous week, that some people for some reason believe that the gross margins gonna kind of go up much faster. That is possible. I hope I'm wrong there. And you can see that my numbers are expecting currently 10.8% gross margin. Is it possible that this goes to 11 or 12? Sure, it's 11. I think it's very possible, but 12, 13, it's more difficult, especially 13. But yeah, so that's the situation for Neo right now. And please like and subscribe, and again share your ideas in the comment section. And see you in the next one.